The next part is the structures of a bone. So as we go through these, we're going to draw them on our little bone section. You can use this area right here on the top right of your page to draw these. I'm going to draw mine right here so that I don't ruin my key with the diagram forever. So the first structure in a bone is the compact bone tissue. So the compact bone tissue is a dense web of fibers. It makes up most of the bone. It's hard and it is the outer portion of bones. So we're going to go ahead and draw a very stereotypical bone, and mine's probably going to be terrible, but here we go. So you can draw it kind of as big as you want. Oh yeah, this looks pretty average for my ability to draw. So the outside portion is compact bone tissue. So we'll go ahead and shade that in later when we get closer to the end. The next part is spongy bone tissue. So this has small holes, which makes it less dense than the compact bone tissue, and it's usually found at the ends of the bones. So I'm going to change colors, and I'm going to draw my spongy bone tissue at the ends of my bones. It's also, I think, common in flat bones. All right, and then I gotta label it. Spongy bone tissue. Okay, and I drew it like kind of with dots because I said that it has small holes in it, which makes it less dense. The next thing is bone marrow, okay? And there's actually two types of bone marrow, so I hope that you put both of them down. Red bone marrow is where the red blood cells are made. It's in the spongy ends of long bones, and it's in the flat bones. Yellow bone marrow stores fat, and it's in the longest part of long bones. So let's go ahead and draw those. So red bone marrow, I'm going to draw in red, and it is in the spongy ends of long bones. So I'm just going to draw it like that in my spongy tissue. I'm going to go ahead and label it on this side so I have more space. And then yellow bone marrow is in the long part, and I already used that color. Let's see if I can use this color. If I had yellow, I would use that, but I don't. So it's in the long part. Hopefully you guys can read this. Yeah, there you go, yellow bone marrow. And that stores the fat. So when we talked about production and storage in our functions, it's producing red blood cells and it's storing fat. The next thing is cartilage. So this is a strong, flexible tissue that covers the ends of the bones. It prevents the surfaces of the bones from rubbing and reduces the friction. So if you think about it, where your bones meet, let's say like in your knee, they meet kind of like this. Okay, and so they're going to rub together when you walk like that, right? But you have this layer of cartilage on the ends of both of your bones so that they don't rub as hard when you're walking. So that's good. Some people actually can lose cartilage in their bones or at the ends of their bones, and that makes it very difficult for them to walk or just a lot more painful because of that friction. So let's draw your cartilage in blue. And it is at the, oops, that one isn't right. Let me find a better one. Let's see if this one will write. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's draw your cartilage in blue at the ends of the bones. It covers the end part of the bones. I'll label it over here because I have more room. Okay, and then the last part of the bone is the periosteum. So peri, if you think about like perimeter, is the outside measurement. Peri means outside, and oste means bone. So periosteum is the outside part of the bone. It's a membrane that surrounds the bone, produces new bone tissue. It also nourishes the bone and helps it function, grow, and heal. So the periosteum is very important. I'm going to scoot it up so you guys can see my little drawing here. So let's go ahead and draw your periosteum around the outside of the bone. It's under the cartilage, right? So it's just on the outside of the bone. I'm going to label it here, periosteum. Hope I spelled that right. There you go. Okay, and then the last thing, you're gonna shade in the rest as your compact bone tissue. So remember, we kind of didn't label that much of your compact bone tissue, but now we can go ahead and shade in the rest of your compact bone tissue. So that's what your bones look like. Isn't that pretty crazy? You probably just thought they were like these white stick things, but they actually have a lot going on, and they are very helpful to your body.